Do you know how powerful the man who destroyed the immortal realms with a single palm was? Why did he destroy the four great immortal realms? And what were the origins and purpose of these four great immortal realms? After watching the latest episode, many fellow Taoists have probably noticed that both the Rain Immortal Realm and the Thunder Immortal Realm were destroyed by a single mysterious giant hand. So in this video, I'll explain everything from the birth and mission of the immortal realms to the complete story behind their ultimate destruction. Everything begins in the distant ancient era. At that time, the cave world had not yet been divided into the inner realm and the outer realm. That all changed after seven-colored immortal Venerable unexpectedly perished. His 3 souls and 7 fragments split apart and reincarnated, while the entire world was divided in 2 by the sealed realm Grand Formation. Outside the formation lay the ruthless outer realm, where only the strong survived. Inside was the struggling inner realm, barely clinging to existence. The first soul of 7-colored immortal Venerable reincarnated in the outer realm and became the 7-colored Taoist. From that moment on, he began searching for his other 2 souls. As long as he devoured them both, he would once again become the new 7-colored immortal Venerable. Not long afterward, the second soul reincarnated within the inner realm. Because he had reincarnated later, he feared being found and devoured by the first soul. To locate the third soul before the 7-colored Taoist, he assumed the identity of 7-colored immortal Venerable, entrusted the heaven-defying bead to the first lord of the sealed realm, and ordered him to unite the inner realm against the outer realm. However, the inner realm was at a natural disadvantage from the very beginning. The sealed realm, Grand Formation, siphoned away all the incense power that allowed cultivators to reach the third step, sending it entirely into the outer realm. With such overwhelming disparity in strength, the inner realm stood no chance against the outer realm. To gather more incense power and nurture additional third-step cultivators, the Lord of the Sealed Realm established 4 immortal realms within the inner realm: Wind, Rain, Thunder, and Lightning. These corresponded respectively to the 4 great star domains: Cloud Sea, Kungshu Star Domain, Luotian Star Domain, and Zhao River. The 4 immortal emperors, Lan Yun, Qing Lin, Immortal Emperor Bai Fan, and xianxia were appointed to guard them. Only then was the inner realm barely able to stabilize its defenses. Unfortunately, peace did not last. The 7-colored Taoist continued searching for his remaining souls. While many cultivators from both the inner and outer realms had originally come from the immortal firmament continent, longing to return home, they sought the sky-reaching tower, hidden within the ancient celestial realm of the inner realm. As a result, Palm Lord with other name Zhang Zun, the leader of the 5 great venerables of the outer realm, launched a full-scale invasion of the inner realm. And the one who later destroyed the immortal realms with a single palm was Palm Lord himself. His cultivation had already reached the peak of Void Profound. He possessed 2 origin essences and had survived 3 profound tribulations, making him publicly acknowledged as the 2nd strongest expert in the entire outer realm. Even more terrifying, he had long prepared a deadly scheme inside the inner realm. He secretly sent his daughter's avatar undercover, where she eventually became the favorite consort of Qing Lin, Immortal Emperor of the Rain Immortal Realm. Even Shui Daozi, the trusted servant at the side of the Lord of the Sealed Realm and a member of the Cloud Sea Divine Sect, had already been bribed and turned into a traitor. As long as the first Lord of the Sealed Realm stood firm, the inner realm could barely resist. But during the second war between the inner and outer realms, Shui Daozi suddenly betrayed them at the crucial moment and stabbed the Lord of the Sealed Realm in the back. Working together with several ancient celestial consorts, Palm Lord grievously wounded the Lord of the Sealed Realm, leaving only a remnant soul that could hide within the heaven-defying bead to survive. Without his leadership, the inner realm descended into complete chaos. One after another, the 4 great immortal realms fell to the invading outer realm. The enormous palm print shown in the animation is called the Yiling Seal, one of the supreme divine abilities inherited from the immortal Firmament Continent and one of Palm Lord's ultimate trump cards. Each of the 4 immortal emperors was a mighty third-step cultivator, the absolute pinnacle of power within the inner realm. Yet before Palm Lord, none of them could withstand even a single frontal strike. Qing Lin, Immortal Emperor of the Rain, Immortal Realm, was severely injured by 1 palm strike before being ambushed by an 8-star ancient devil and an ancient demon. forcing him to hide within the land of monster spirits under a false identity while recovering. When the Wind Immortal realm collapsed, Lan Yun simply vanished without a trace. No one ever knew whether he lived or died. Xianxia, the immortal emperor of the Lightning Immortal realm, likewise disappeared into hiding and never showed himself again. The most tragic fate belonged to Bai Fan of the Thunder Immortal realm. Risking complete annihilation of his soul, he managed to withstand half of Palm Lord's attack. But in doing so, he learned the horrifying truth that the entire cave world was nothing more than a prison, and everyone within it was merely a pawn. His lifelong faith collapsed in an instant. Before countless cultivators, he pointed toward the heavens and cursed them in fury before letting out one final roar and dying. The animation also shows Gu Ziyuan, the great general of the Thunder Immortal realm, who likewise sacrificed his life while resisting that devastating palm strike. The four great immortal realms, once the pillars supporting half the heavens of the inner realm, were shattered into ruins by Palm Lord with nothing more than a single palm. So what became of such a terrifying figure? Palm Lord lived a life filled with overwhelming ambition. He rose from being a mere servant to becoming the supreme overlord of the outer realm, a truly legendary ascent. But fortune never favors one forever. Later, Wang Lin became the new lord of the sealed realm of the inner realm. Once he fully matured, Palm Lord was no longer a worthy opponent. In the end, Wang Lin used the GC puppet to devour half of Palm Lord's soul, while forcibly sending the other half to the immortal firmament continent to be reincarnated. Thus, the once mighty conqueror ultimately met a fate beyond his own control. The creation of the four immortal realms by the Lord of the Sealed Realm was meant to preserve a final glimmer of hope for the inner realm. Yet even that hope could not withstand the crushing invasion of the outer realm and the betrayal from within. The downfall of the four immortal emperors became the greatest symbol of the humiliation and tragedy endured by the inner realm. As for Palm Lord, although he spent half his life manipulating the tides of fate and dominating the outer realm, he ultimately proved to be nothing more than a blade in someone else's grand scheme. From a lowly servant, he rose to become one of the most feared figures in the cave world. Yet even all his ambition, power, and ruthless schemes could not free him from the destiny that had been written for him. In the end, Wang Lin defeated him, devouring half of his soul with the GC puppet, while forcibly sending the remaining half to the immortal firmament continent to be reincarnated. Thus, the once invincible Palm Lord met a fate entirely beyond his own control. His story came to an end at the hands of Wang Lin, leaving behind only the legend of a fallen hegemon, a man who once shook both the inner and outer realms, now buried forever beneath the eternal dust of the cave world. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating.